Well, folks, there's almost an exodus of people away from the Christian church right now. Why is that? Why are people doing that? For some reason, they're not getting what they want out of the Christian church. They're not feeling fulfilled. Now, I go to church. I'm a lover of Christ and God, and I understand the vibrations there and the feelings there and the depth there. And by the way, I'm a very 30-year yoga and meditation teacher. But on the other hand, I see the stopgap there. I see the abyss between what people want and what's there. For instance, you can't tell me that an intelligent, educated person is going to believe that there's a God who's a man with a beard out in the corner of the stratosphere somewhere, flinging lightning bolts around, causing havoc, floods, storms, and things like this, prejudicing himself against some people and not against others. You know, how could God let this baby die when it just was in a crib death? How could God let this flood kill all these people? People have all these thoughts. They should be thinking all these thoughts because their own church and their religion is not clarifying for them the foundations of why everything exists. So, in this little video, take heart. I'm going to explain and give you an acceptable definition of God. One of the greatest saints who ever had a body or occupied a body in history was in India. Her name was Anandamoy Ma. Now, Anandamoy Ma, from the time she was a child, they sat her on a big pillow like 10 feet across, and she would just fall into a breathless state, a state of suspended animation. If you don't believe this, start reading and studying and go to India. You will eventually understand that this little punk country we have, America, that's only a few hundred years old, we don't have a clue what really is happening. What was happening 7,000 years ago in the Himalayas, when we were cave people running around, the Himalayan yogis were deep, deep, deep in their practice. I'm not talking about the starving people running around India right now and the problems they have with their society. I'm talking about the Himalayas, where I have been, or the Himalaya, where I have been. So let me explain this technique now. Let me explain this reality now. Anandamoy Ma was asked the question, Ma, what is God? And she said this, it is everything that is, and it is everything that is not. Now chew on that for a while. Understand that every single bit of creation is God. We don't have God versus the devil. Those are all anthropomorphic terms to get you to understand. Anthropomorphic means human terms. So God's a good guy and the devil's a bad guy? No, every single thing in the universe that ever was created is God created and is part of the being of God. The Godhead, it's part and parcel of God. Created from God and is part of God. Everything that is created. All bad and all good. This whole devil versus God concept has to go. That which is beyond creation is the only singular thing in the universe. One single force, backed by one single consciousness that is existence without anything in it. Consciousness without anything in it, and a state of bliss or beingness. Sat, Chit, Ananda. That is the basics of God. Existence, consciousness, and bliss. Now, from that consciousness, that vast, flat, singular consciousness, was created our universe, like the Big Bang Theory. It was dreamed into existence. It happened all at once. The universe started to become. It just becomes. That's why we have black holes and non-black holes. The universe became. And in the universe, everything is a duality. I want you to wrap your mind around this. Light and dark, they're a duality. Man, woman. Wave goes in, wave goes up. Wave goes in and out. You throw the ball up, the ball comes down. Any force that hits another force has an equal and opposite reaction. Everything in the world is a duality. Even the bilateral nature of our face, We have an eye on each side, fingers and hands on each side. For every wave that goes in, a wave comes out. For every breath that goes in, a breath comes out. All duality except that one force of God.